Alright, bro. AAU sucks ass. That's the title of this video. I hate AAU. I'm a basketball coach. I don't hate AAU track and field or volleyball, but I hate AAU basketball. I'm a basketball coach. I'm unemployed right now. I think that's due to politics. But still, if I were to be completely unemployed for a year or in jail or something like that, somebody asked me what I am and I had to describe one job title, I would say basketball coach. I've done a lot of different things in my life, but that's what I'm probably most qualified to do, is coach basketball. Now to get into why I think AAU sucks ass, it's gonna be a long video. It's gonna be a long form video. It's not gonna be like a long video, but you know what I mean. It's gonna be a long video. Um, I'll start with this. Okay, I've coached from fifth grade basketball all the way up through the college level, and I've also coached elite high school ball. So I've seen a lot of fucking basketball. All right, let me tell you something about AAU. Okay, there's really there's a right way to play the game. I mean, there are different philosophies. Don't get me wrong, but at the crux of it, there's a right way to play the game. You build your game upon fundamentals, and you continue to add to it with your fundamental bag sound. And you know you got to have a focus on a um, well-rounded sort of style of play. You can emphasize a different way to score, being more shifty as opposed to being a shooter, being a post player. You can emphasize, different. You can tinker with different ways to play defense. I think there's a right way to do it. I think there's a wrong way to do it. Like maybe you be more aggressive. You go for steals a little bit more, and you give up position a little bit more if you're down or something like that, right? And you want to make plays and try to get back in the game. But I don't think that AAU holds people to that standard, coaches or players. I have coached for youth. Let's start with youth specifically, okay? Youth specifically, okay? Let me say this before we get into the youth side. AAU is specifically good for one thing, for exposure for 4 and 5 star athletes. EYBL, if these kids, even that I think sucks balls. Like I still think it sucks. But if you're trying to get recruited and you are a top tier prospect, then AAU is great for you to put numbers up, shake the right hands, and go get more offers. But it's not good for you to develop, and it's definitely not good for the vast majority of basketball players in any meaningful way whatsoever. Okay, if you're going to a weekend tournament with hoop group, first of all, I've coached in hoop group games that were completely rigged against me. I'm not even kidding. Like especially from 2022 to 2024, I had games rigged against me a ridiculous amount. Okay, hoop group, marquee, all those like little mid-level AAU shits that were not EYBL. I have no problem saying that out loud. Like that's exactly what happened. Okay, you can literally ask anybody. That I'm not gonna put names out here, so you really can't ask anybody. But anybody, if you know me and you know who I've coached and where I've been at, go see what happened during that. Go ask about what happened and ask people. They'll just tell you straight up. Yeah, that shit was like they were doing them bad. Cause it's AAU, bro. Nobody cares. AAU is very unofficial. It's very unprofessional. It's very stupid. The refs a lot of the time suck. They're trying to get whoever they can. The refs are fatigued a lot of the time. They're getting refs in there for fucking 10 games straight. These guys don't give a fuck, man. I mean, we're talking about refs standing there on their 10th game, 8th game. 10 is a lot. Let's say they're on their 5th or 6th game though of the day. They're just trying to get out of there, bro. They don't want this game to go to overtime and then, this shit, we're going to call this foul. Now we're going to let that foul go cuz the clock's going to keep running. Because we don't want this to get into the next. Now we start the next game late. You see what I'm saying? That's a big issue between coaches and AAU organizations. Is like ref fatigue. Make sure you get enough different refs that you don't have, you know, the same ref refing 6 7 games all day, and affecting the game, impacting the game. The problem with that though is that a lot of these tournaments are like if you go to Spooky Nook here on the East Coast, you go to Spooky Nook in Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. You got to pay a lot of money to get somebody to travel out there and ref a fucking basketball game. Man, nobody cares that much, bro. Like you're probably just gonna get local guys, local refs. That's one of the few. We're not gonna talk about that too much because that's like a lesser issue. A bigger issue is that these are cash grabs. So what happens is they want to set tournaments up and get more people, more people, more people, more people. Some of the teams that go to hoop group and go to these shits in like the silver bracket, even the gold bracket, like even in the top bracket sometimes, like they have no business playing games, basketball games. Like you need to really practice basketball before you engage competitively in basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like we have guys who are like their shooting percentages in the 20s and they're shooting threes at AAU games. Why? Are you like who are you on crack? Like what are you doing, bro? You can sit there. You would be better off shooting in the gym or working on your footwork and paying a trainer than going to this shit and doing this. And here's the problem too. I always encourage people to play for teams, right? Team basketball is a team sport, and individual skills training has its pitfalls as well. Of course, it's valuable, right? It's very valuable, but that also has its pitfalls. But when you play for a good coach and he can teach you how to play as a member of a team and think the game, learn how to space the floor, learn how to set screens, learn where to go, learn when this happens we can go, you can do this. If somebody's driving from this side, I can find the window up top because my defender's going to help and create a longer closeout. If he drives 45, I can 45 cut off his ass and try to find get open in the lane because the angle works that way, like shit like that, right? Defensively, these are zone principles that you can use even in man to man. Like we're doing, like we're doing a staggered 2-3 where that's one of my favorites. I always use that 1-3-1, whatever. We're running this specific type of zone. We're running this this man to man. You're just more versatile. You become a more versatile basketball player as you learn different concepts, right? And you start to understand the game, spacing, the flow, right? That's great. The problem is you have like Timmy's uncle and old Quandre from the hood, right? Coaching like 10 kids who suck. And then they just pull up and they each pay, you know what I mean? This shit is dog shit. And the thing is, like Quandre and three of his homies from the hood and Timmy and three of his buddies from the fucking frat, these motherfuckers get together and they're like, yo, like, please mute that. They're like, we can make money. Let's start an AAU team, guys. Let's start, old Dylan, like he wants to start an AAU team. This guy played basketball in college. This guy played basketball in college, and he doesn't know the first thing about coaching. He doesn't know how to coach. He doesn't know how to get people to play well, and the motherfucker, like, what I'm saying? He starts an AAU organization because he was a decent. Now look, okay? I'm not being a player is a good thing. It's better than like being a nobody, of course. Like being a player and then going into coaching is great, but it doesn't necessarily always mean you're a great coach. But in any case, Dylan, who played college basketball, is going to pull up and hire like three or four of the cheapest coaches, some 20-year-old kid, right? Whatever. This is how I got my start in AAU, right? They're going to hire some kid doesn't really know much, and let them rock. I collect $1,000, $1,200 from each parent, and I'm basically making $400 on each of those parents, and I'm not paying the coach. Boom! I just made like 5 bands off this AAU team. All I had to do was take the money that the parents gave me, create some jerseys and shit, get that created, push it out, register them for some tournaments. Boom! It's cool. Now I got like $5,000 in the summer type shit. So that's real, man. That's pretty much what AAU is about. You got to think about the business side of it. You're not getting any value out of that, out of traveling and doing all that. You're better off working on your game and playing for your local teams, like a house league and shit, where there's actual parity, there's actual, like, that's another problem with AAU. There's no parity, right? There's actual consistency in a league format where you can see the same players and start to like kind of get a grasp on how to compete in a setting where you're trying to win a championship. In a tournament like AAU, you just show up and you end up playing a random team. The scheduling sucks. Like you're gonna, 9:30 a.m. They're gonna be like, hey, we'll move you over to that court. You're actually playing 30 minutes later. Yo, we need you. We have you at 11 o'clock game. Yo, we need you at 8 a.m. now. It's 3 a.m. Coach. We need you at 8 a.m. because something changed. You get like 4 of your players there. Everybody's like completely out of it. They don't know what the hell's going on. Like you got to chase people down. Like this shit it's BS, bro. It's disorganized. It's just nonsense. And you're playing some random team. There's no scout. You're just going out there and you're playing pickup. Essentially, you play your pickup. You fucking suck. I mean, you guys, not you fucking suck, but like, what I mean? Like, for the most part, the talent's not even there, right? There's some talent, of course, but it's not developed. It's completely underdeveloped. It's not polished whatsoever. I mean, there are some guys who are pretty good in the hood and in the park, right? At Rutgers they were killing it because there's no defense, there's no attention to them, and they're just the best player there, so they're able to go. But then they see a second defender and they fucking fall apart, right? Or there's a kid that's fucking in the intramural league in his college, or I mean not college, but you get the idea. That was a bad example, but This is AAU, man. This is the AAU landscape. And the thing is, it's all merch. It's all about consumerism, commercialism. Overtime pulls up and sells some T-shirts and shit. Check this brand out. Yo, check this clips. This kid dunked. This kid caught a windmill body. Like he contact windmilled over somebody. This is sick. He just got 2,000 likes right away. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, the kid that got contact dunked on will never play defense again. The kid that got crossed up and his clip of him getting crossed up got 5,000 likes. He's never ever playing defense again. He's just gonna be casual for the rest of his life because he's not letting that happen again. Not me, no sir, right? It's bullshit, bro. And the thing is, that kid that caught the contact dunk sucks. He can't shoot. He shoots like this, right? Just how he shoots. That's his jump shot. But he caught a contact dunk. Everybody thinks he's a hooper now. And you know what I mean? Like it's just this is AAU basketball. That's what AAU basketball is. Nobody knows how to set a screen and roll. Nobody knows how to play defense properly. It's dog shit. It's complete dog shit. I wish I could. I had the influence to boycott AAU. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. I should because I'm one of the people that knows the most about basketball probably in the world, and I don't feel any type of way saying that. I know people look at me like, yo, you know, they're NBA coaches. I think I'm better than a lot of them. Like I'm just being straight up honest with you, bro. At the end of the day, to get to the NBA is a political game that you're playing. It's not about your merit. I mean, of course, there's merit involved, right? I'm not going to sit here and say that like NBA coaches don't know what they're doing at all. There is a weed out process and there's a refining process that it takes throughout the journey that it takes to get there. But at the same time, there have been severely underqualified NBA coaches. There have been severely ass NBA coaches. And it's just the thing about coaching is about whether the way to gauge coaching is to gauge whether the team underperforms or it overperforms. It's not about wins and losses. It's about underperforming and overperforming. And it's extremely difficult to measure that. Only a trained eye who really understands what is going on is qualified to decide whether or not a team is overperforming or underperforming and what a standard performance for that group of players would be. And in a situation where the coach has control over roster construction, obviously that throws another wrench into it. Throws another element into it. But a lot of the time, wins and losses is not the determining factor for a coach. Now that being said, you got to win, right? At the end of the day, winning is your responsibility, especially if you have roster construction under your hat. If you have that hat, then yeah, you got to win. You got to win. There's no excuse. You're not, and there's no excuse anyway. Even if you don't control roster construction, you gotta pull some strings. You gotta assert some leverage and do something because that's a mistake that I've made. I've been in the situation where people, directors of an AAU program or something like that, were like constructing the roster or doing stuff to the roster that I didn't agree with, and I kind of just acquiesced, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go. Like, okay, that's cool. If that's what you want to do, you want to put him on that team, and this team's gonna suck now. I'm gonna coach it. Like, you can't let shit like that happen, right? You can't. And it's not just that. That was a weak example, but like the point is, you have to, as a coach, you got to have a spine and a backbone, and you got to walk away from certain opportunities. That's something that I've learned. Again, completely unrelated, but the point is, AAU, you pull up, you play against teams that you might just have the best team, right? There's no parity, there's no scheduling consistency, there's no scout. You literally just pull up, barely any game plan. You might have a set or two. Don't get me wrong, you might, but there's no adaptability based on who you're playing. You're just pulling up, and it's just bullshit, man. And a good coach in AAU is few and far between. And if you see them, right, they're gone quickly. Somebody's gonna pick them up. They're a hot commodity. And look, it's a great networking opportunity. It's great for exposure. I'm not gonna lie. That is the one thing. Like it's a place for people from all over the country to come to play basketball and be seen by people from all over the country who are recruiting. People from all over the country who want to coach. Go meet people, shake hands for Division I head coaches and Division I assistant coaches who are going to get that foot in the door, right? That's fantastic. But what it does to the basketball, to the landscape of basketball, the way kids are able to think the game, the unselfishness, like it just eliminates unselfishness. It punishes you for being unselfish. AAU punishes you for being unselfish. I gotta wrap this video up. It's getting long here, but this is just a rant, honestly. But AAU punishes you for being unselfish. Think about it. If you're unselfish in AAU, you're not gonna get the ball back, bro. You can pull up to a to a tournament, and fucking Blake over there, he don't want to pass you the ball, and you keep passing him the ball, you keep making the right basketball play. You don't give a fuck. I'm gonna go get my 40, says Blake, and then motherfucking Blake gets on the Instagrams and shit and gets a college offer and then goes plays for another team the next weekend, doesn't even show up to practice, right? He doesn't give a fuck about you. He doesn't give a fuck about the team. He doesn't care. He's playing in a tournament every weekend, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like that's how AAU is. And then Blake goes to college and sucks because his coach wants him to actually fucking do certain shit, and he's just too selfish. He has no idea how to pass the ball. He has no idea how to think the game. He has no vision for his teammates. He has no idea how to fit as a piece, how to make up for somebody else's mistakes on a basketball court, clean up for your teammate, have your teammates back. None of that. He shows up. He's entitled. He's a prick, and he gets ran out of the gym. Ends up transferring 4 times, and then his basketball career is over. That's what AAU does. If you at least play for a team where and guess what? I'm telling you this because I'm part of the fucking problem. When I coach AAU. Guess what I'm doing if my team sucks? Every week. Hey Jamal. Yo, bro, I need you to pull up this weekend, bro. It's alright, you don't have to come to practice. Pull up. I need somebody who can score. I need a ringer right now. Come on. I'm not trying to lose. I'm not trying to lose again. We're not losing again this weekend. Last weekend was tough. I'm not trying to be sitting there with a clipboard and be 0-3 or 1-2. We gotta go 3-0, 4-0, win this tournament. I'm not fucking with that. Hey, hey, Jordan, come on, man. Zach, pull up, bro. Pull up. You don't got to pay. I got you. The hotel, we're going to cover it. We're going to make these other paying parents split that. And we're going to, you know what I mean? This is what happens. This is what happens in AAU. And then Zach, Jamal, and whatever, Jordan, Quandre, whatever the fuck names I just gave you, right? Those dudes pull up. They do what they do. And the coach is happy. They're happy. Even though it's bad for their development ultimately because they're not learning how to play the game the right way. They're just learning to catch the ball and look to score, which is obviously the first thing you should do. But they're just looking to score. If it's not there, they're going to try again. And then, they're given the green light to do that. Dribble the air out of the basketball. Shoot terrible shots. Whatever. Green light. These kids on my team suck. I'm not passing it to them. You don't learn how to play basketball doing that. And then the other kids, it's a waste of their time and money. And they don't learn how to play basketball doing that. And they suck. They're not even good enough to be there. They should be in the gym. They should be in the gym. They should not be on a basketball court with refs and a scoreboard yet. You see what I'm saying? And if they do, it should be one of the lower percentage activities they do. That should be 10% of what you do, 15% of what you do. Not 50, not 60. You don't play 6 games a week. Take the rest, go to practice once, and then play 6 games the next weekend. You're not getting better doing that, bro. That is the biggest bullshit. That's the biggest load of horse shit. I cannot believe it. Eamon. People bring his name up to me. I'm not trying to get caught for like slander or something like that. This is not slander. This is the truth. Your organizations are rigged and they fucking suck, brother. I don't give a fuck. I'm not trying to sit here and you know what I mean, like sugarcoat shit. Like this is the reality, bro. And this is the thing too. This is part of this when I say it's political. This stuff hurts my career, bro. But I speak the truth. When shit sucks, I just say it because I don't fucking care. I honestly don't care. Fuck my career. At the end of the day, if I gotta sit through this shit for 5 years and fucking go through this bullshit ass shit, this process that we got set up, where I'm sitting here, I know I'm tough, right? I'm watching fucking idiots who just suck cock the right way make it. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro. I'm not playing that shit. I'm just gonna say what I feel, and I'm gonna continue to be the best basketball coach out there. Perhaps not out there, but you know what I'm saying. Like, that I can be. And pretty top tier, if you ask me. And if I don't get hired from doing that, then the shit is fucked up. That's a messed up system. I'm not trying to be a part of that shit anyway, bro. So, it is what it is. But, their shit's rigged. These are all the flaws that I've just listed. I wish I could have been more organized, but this was just a stream of consciousness. It was just a bunch of shit that I wanted to say. I'm sure I missed some. I might come back with a part 2. I don't know. But AAU is trash. Stay away from that shit. Just work on your game and go to AAU tournaments like 3 times a summer. And just spend the rest of your time in the gym, bro. You don't need to play. You need to play. You can play 20 games in the summer and be good. You don't need to play fucking 6 games every weekend, 5 games every weekend, every 2 weekends. Like you can play like 10 games in the summer. I'm not gonna lie. Like you don't need to play that many games. Shit, your high school might have a summer league. Do that. That's better. At least you're learning how to commit to a system and a team and improve and be unselfish and learn how to play basketball the right way. Don't boycott AAU if possible.